welcome back to winemastery.co.uk. My name is John. I nearly forgot my own name then.
You did, I noticed.
Yeah, well, what's the rest of the episode going to be like? My name is John Lightfoot, and this is the wonderful
John Murphy.
And we're here to tell you about wine, hopefully help you find the wine, if not the wines, that you will absolutely love. On this occasion, in this episode, we are going to talk about a dessert wine called a Sauternes. And I guess that is the definitive dessert wine, isn't it?
Yes, it is a classic. It's one of the most well-known dessert wines. You know, but when folk come down to the shop, obviously there's so many dessert wines, but people refer to it almost, by name. Do you have a Sauternes? They don't ask for a dessert wine. That's for a Sauternes.
Yeah, and but there is quite, I think, quite a sort of wide gap in terms of, because I've had some Sauternes that I've really enjoyed, but others I've gone, oh, that's really too sickly and cloyy and yucky and.
Yep, just like any other wine we've ever tasted, John. A Cabernet Sauvignon, which sometimes think should be big and massively fruity, and we found out it's very thin and not very fruity. It's the exact same with Sauternes. You get you've got one spectrum to the other. So depending on what you can get some really big classy ones, some that are overly, like you just said there, some too sweet, too sickly. So I mean, we're just going to have to try and see what we've got.
Absolutely, I guess it's down to the 4 V's, isn't it?
What's that?
4 V's. No. I wish you hadn't asked me that. So now, one is the vintage.
Vintage, go on.
Yeah. One is the varietal.
Yeah.
So the grape, but I guess with the Sauternes, it's always the same.
Yeah.
Grape,
I'm
guessing. One is the vintner, i.e., the person that makes it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the final one is the vineyard. In other words, the particular area, the terroir that it's taking its taste from.
I love it when he does his research, It really appeals to me when he says, because I learn as well. It's appealing, I like it. So thanks for that again, John. Never cease to learn when John Lightfoot's here.
But he's done a bit of research.
All the time.
Shall we have a look at the colour?
Let's do it.
Okay. Gold. Is that gold, you say?
That is...
It's really, really heavy yellow, isn't it? Deep yellow, sort of like golden.
But it looks a beautiful colour.
It does, yeah.
I don't think the camera's going to show you just how good... Well, no, I think it's almost... It's almost leaning towards a whiskey.
I wonder if you put the piece of white behind it, whether that would help.
Oh, shine the light slightly. Yeah, it's almost whiskey-esque.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
There we go, John. So, right, let's have a go on the nose.
Oh, that smells lovely. Oh, sweet.
Oh, that does smell... It smells...
Tropical fruits.
Yeah, there's a pineapple in there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's it. That's what I was struggling with, yeah.
There's more though. It's like apricot.
Yeah.
Yes. Peachy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like a fruit bowl. Sort of.
It's like a fruit...
fruit cocktail.
Fruit cocktail, yeah.
Yeah. But no red fruits, wow, that's lovely.
It's more than lovely. That smells absolutely...
And it doesn't smell sickly, does it? It's not.
Not
sometimes
at all,
you can smell and you go, oh, it's a little bit sugary. And
that is exceedingly tempting. So, John, I'm going to get ahead of you there, and I'm just going to go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. That is delicious.
That is delicious, and from a man who...
Yeah, you don't like sweet wine.
Yeah, and I've often said this. That I'm not a massive fan of sweet wines, pudding wines, dessert wines, or sweet wines in general. That's actually quite appealing. I'm enjoying that.
It's delicious, and it's for a white wine. The length is incredible. The mouthfeel is wonderful. It's sweet without being sickly or syrupy or cloyy.
It's the cloyiness which is lacking. So without the cloyiness in there, what you get is that acidity again, which comes through. You get the intenseness, and then the acidity comes and just kind of cleans the palate. So you just left them with that apricot, pineapple, peachy, and even while talking then. But you see, the length on there, I'm very impressed with.
Yeah, and when you said clears the palate, it resonated with me because I suddenly realised, quite often when you have a sweet wine, it's sort of left feeling sort of quite sort of, like you want. But this, it's nice and fresh. It's not leaving any cloyness at all.
No.
Yeah, it's delicious. And also the other thing is that for the amount, which is obviously these I say obviously, they are sold in half bottles because they are such powerful tasting wines. But you only have to sip. You don't have to take a gulp or, it's just...
Not at all.
The flavour just explodes in your mouth.
it's the intensity, isn't it? I mean, I'm tasting this and I'm taking much smaller kind of sips than I would do of any other wine. Just to almost like touch your lips, get a few drops in there, get it around the mouth, and it's still there.
It's still, yeah. This is delicious. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't. I think I could always think, well, why? I always used to think, well, why are they only selling half bottles of this? But I totally get why they do, because you don't need a full bottle, do you?
Not at all. In fact, that glass alone would do me. I think we've mentioned in previous videos about swapping a pudding for just a pudding wine as opposed to, and I could 100% understand after the end of a meal, sitting there, when you say, oh, I just finished a cheese board, and you're like, oh, I couldn't possibly have anything else. And they said, dessert wine? Yeah, all right. You'd have it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just a small amount, even that amount would be ample.
Yeah.
Just to finish off the meal.
Absolutely, yeah. And I guess that does lead us to the pairing. And I'll start through, and I really can't think of, certainly in the main course, I can't think of anything that I would want to drink this with. I think I've said in one other video that this would for me be a dessert, so I'd swap out the dessert and just have this, which is what you've just said. But if you were having something, it would be the only other thing I could think of maybe would be something like an apricot crumble, where you've got the nice sweet apricot, and you could match this with that. Yeah,
those two together. But I agree wholeheartedly with what you said with the whole, that would be enough for me. But I would, if I was putting that with the cheese, because I like cheese and wine, so I would again lean this towards, it's got to be a blue cheese again, and it's got to be something that's got a little bit of saltiness, but it's going to hold its own against this, because in fairness, it's quite a powerful wine. There is a lot going on there. So I'd perhaps look at something like a Blue d'Auvergne, which is a Blue d'Auvergne, a French wine, a French cheese, which is very similar to a Roquefort. Well, it's basically a Roquefort just made with a cow's milk. So not quite as intense, not quite as salty, but the richness would be there. And I reckon those two together, I think would work. But again, Johnny, I would agree with that would be enough. I would just have that instead of any pudding.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I would enjoy that more than any pudding as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, this particular sampler came from Aldi. Which they have branches all around the world, so maybe you can pick it up from your local branch. But that, and I can't remember the price of it. I don't think it was too expensive. It was I think I should have it. Excuse me. I think I should have it down here somewhere. $6.99.
$6.99, John.
Yeah.
Spot on.
That's a
very good price. Very good price.
I mean, what would Sauternes normally sort of fetch in?
Well, the best price I do is $9.99. So
yeah. So
we're not massive. Still a half bottle as well, but you can go up to 20. I imagine from my shop at least £22 is the most expensive Sauternes I sell.
Right. So absolutely brilliant value.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm really pleased to try that. I was a little bit nervous to try this because I thought, it's going to be because I've tasted some that really haven't appealed to me. But that is delicious. Well done, Aldi. Absolutely delicious.
Come out on top again, Aldi.
Yeah.
Okay, what about a score, John?
Coming on to the score. Okay. So you going first, or am I going first?
I don't mind going first.
Okay, go for it.
It was a nice wine. Did everything I wanted it to. The price actually, because I almost had a score in my head, but the price has kind of changed that slightly. So I'm going to go ahead and say 82.
Are you really?
I am.
Okay, I'm going 89.
89?
Yeah, because it's one of the best Sauternes I've tasted. So for my palate. So that's just, and as you say, the price.
Yeah.
That's just whopped it up there for me. It's delicious. I can't say anything against it.
Nope. Good bit of wine.
Okay. Great, guys. Well, do let us know if there's any wines you think we should be trying and reviewing. Just give us comments below, and we'll try and see if we can get hold of one and give it a review. And we'll give you a shout out for mentioning it too. And so until next time, guys, look at these other couple of videos that we have, as you can see on the end screen here. Until then, chin chin.
Chin chin.